Welcome to Soul School and the teachings on Crysticism. So, today we're going to dive into a massive clash of ideas. We'll start by looking at a philosophy that basically says chaos is king. Then we'll hear a pretty desperate plea from the people caught right in the middle of it all. After that, we'll check out a wild solution, literally building a brand new world. And finally, we'll see how sometimes the biggest fight is the one that happens inside your own head. All right, let's jump right in. First up, we're meeting a group that calls themselves the Krats, and they've all gathered in this huge arena to explain their whole chaotic way of life to this really powerful being known as Lord Yellow.
And Lord Yellow, he doesn't mess around. He gets right to the point with this one question. He's asking them, plain and simple, why they've just walked away from their fundamental values. And, well, their answer? It really sets the stage for everything that follows.
The Krats, they don't hold back at all. To them, our basic human instincts, they're not a guide, they're more like a cage. Their whole goal isn't just to bend the rules of human nature, it's to completely smash them. They're after a kind of free will that isn't tied down by things like, instinct or empathy.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how they talk about these traits. For the Carrots, selfishness isn't some kind of flaw. They actually see it as an advanced form of evolution. It's this idea that just looking out for number one, no matter who gets hurt, is the ultimate sign of progress in a tough universe.
And here it is, the absolute core of their philosophy. They totally reject the idea that there's one single universal truth. For a Krat, reality is just something you make up for yourself. And this self-made truth, well, it becomes their permission slip to act in ways that, from a cosmic perspective, are completely self-destructive. So what does this all boil down to? For the Krats, it's all about the here and now, the hunt for instant pleasure, getting away from any kind of pain. That's more important than anything else. Yeah, even more important than their own long-term survival. It's a philosophy of just pure, unfiltered indulgence. Okay, so this chart right here, it lays out the whole conflict perfectly. On the left, you've got what the Krats believe. And on the right, you have what Lord Yellow sees as the inevitable result. So where the Krats see freedom in being greedy, he sees extinction. Where they see power in making up their own truth, he just sees delusion and self-destruction. It's a total head-on collision between personal desire and cosmic consequences.
Now let's just flip the script entirely. Because while the Krats are over there cheering for chaos, there's another group, the Soul students, who are just trying to learn and grow. And frankly, they feel like they're getting crushed.
You can just feel the exhaustion in this statement. It's the sense of being completely overwhelmed and defeated. They truly believe the world has been overrun by the very chaos the Krats are celebrating, and it's making it next to impossible for them to actually learn anything. And listen, this isn't just some abstract fear. They are living with the consequences of this chaos every single day. They feel hunted, they feel unsafe, and they can't focus. They're not just trying to pass a test here, they're trying to survive long enough to become what they call mystic warriors, these really powerful beings of order. And that's the key. They see all this chaos as a direct attack on their education, the very reason they're here. So yeah, this is it. They've hit their breaking point. This isn't a suggestion anymore, it's not a complaint, it's a desperate cry for help. The students have basically decided they can't fix this on their own, and they're turning to a higher power for a real solution. And that plea, it gets a response, a big one. The Cosmic Council gets together to talk about what the students said, and the solution they come up with is, well, it's pretty radical. They're not talking about fixing the old world. They're talking about creating a whole new one. The whole idea hinges on one thing, total separation. Lord Green proposes this place, Stutopia, as a kind of incubator. It's a safe haven where the students can get strong, far away from the chaotic influence of the rebels back on Earth. And look, this isn't just about running away. Lord Green has a whole 4-step plan here. Stutopia is a training ground, not an escape. The goal is to first, get the students out. Second, let them build their own society based on harmony. Third, train them to become those powerful Mysticorian warriors. And then, and this part is absolutely crucial, send them back to Earth as the ultimate force for good. But here's the catch. This new paradise, it's got some serious rules. It's basically a 3-strikes-you're-out system. If a student commits 3 rebellious acts, anything that smells like the chaos they left behind on Earth, they get sent right back. And after a brief grace period, justice is instant. So this isn't just a safe space. It's a high-stakes training ground built on some serious discipline.
You'd think moving to a brand new planet would fix everything, right? Well, not exactly. It turns out all it did was move the battlefield. The fight between order and chaos isn't happening out there anymore. It's happening inside the students themselves. And this is where we see the whole conflict boil down to two students, Diesel and Evan. On one side, you have Diesel. His reason for wanting power comes from fear. Really, he just wants to feel safe and prove he's not weak. But then you have Evan, who looks at that same power in the hands of someone who's undisciplined and just sees a recipe for total disaster. It's the classic battle, safety versus responsibility.
And it's not just about if you should have power, but where you get it from. You've got Abby, who trusts in this faith-based idea she calls the law of intercession, basically believing that divine beings will step in for her. But Diesel, he's impatient. He wants a shortcut, a quick fix, so he's messing around with a box of magic spells to try and get an edge. It's faith versus forbidden knowledge.
Okay, hang on. Listen to Diesel here. Does that sound familiar? It should. He's literally echoing the exact same philosophy as the Kratts, that truth is just whatever you decide it is. And Evan pushes back hard, arguing for objective reality, that facts are facts, whether you like them or not. The very chaos they fled on Earth has found a voice right here in Stutopia. Wow. I mean, this just cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? It gets past all the philosophical talk and right to the fear that's driving Diesel. After everything he's seen, he's decided that if the only two choices are bully or victim, he knows which side he's going to be on.
But then Rev comes in with this completely different take, a third option, and it's a really challenging one. He's suggesting that real power isn't about fighting back or becoming the bully. It's in this kind of passive acceptance. It's a wild idea that maybe not fighting is the strongest thing you can do. And that's where we're left, with this massive question. Stutopia was created to train warriors, right? But this whole debate makes you wonder, is that the only way? In a world that seems to shove you into a box, bully or victim, creditor or students, is there another way to be strong? Or, in the end, are you forced to become the very thing you're fighting against just to make it through?